Guys, today I'm answering the question from a user here that's asking if training BJJ 2 times a week, 2 days a week is enough. Guys, the answer is it depends. But in most of the times I would say that yes, it's enough. So I mean, like, it depends because it depends what are your goals. So for example, if you're like 22 years old and your goal is to become a black belt world champion in the adult division, it's not enough. But if your goal is to just like learn jiu-jitsu and train jiu-jitsu and this and that, I think that's enough twice a week. And I have a jiu-jitsu school here in Massachusetts, right, in Bedford. And one time I analyzed how often the students would train, and the average was twice a week. So, I mean, like, it's enough. I wouldn't say that it's not enough, and you can learn jiu-jitsu that way. What I would say is that more is always better. So if you can train 3 times per week, it's better than 2. If you can train 4, it's better than 3. If you can train 5, it's better than 4, and etc., etc., etc. But if that being said, twice a week, especially like, for example, if you train Monday and Thursday, it's a good average, you know, like I do think you're gonna improve, you're gonna get better, and as long as you keep consistent with twice a week religiously, you are on the gym, then I think it's pretty good. And the other thing I would say is that what you do outside of jiu-jitsu also matters. So for example, if you train jiu-jitsu twice a week and you also do some mobility exercises other days, or if you lift weight to make sure that your body is prepared for those 2 days of training, I think that helps a lot as well. And this is even like some experience that I can share because, for example, I stopped competing in jiu-jitsu, right? And now I'm more focused on BJJ Fanatics and the online websites. And nowadays, I train 2 or 3 times per week. But I also try to do something else on the days that I'm not training jiu-jitsu. Normally, I either lift weight or I run. So my mental goal is to do something every day. And it's jiu-jitsu 2 or 3 times per week. It's lifting another 1 or 2 times per week. And it's running 1 or 2 times per week. And then even when I skip something, I'm still working out like 5 or 6 times per week, which is pretty good, you know, like. So again, answering the question, is training BJJ 2 times per week enough? In my opinion, it is enough. But if you can train more than that, it's better. You're gonna get better faster, you know, like. But for example, I always say that, and I repeat that on every video almost, like, to me, the biggest problem is not when you train twice a week or once a week. It's when you stop doing jiu-jitsu. That's where all the problems in the jiu-jitsu journey happens. Because 1, you start forgetting the techniques. 2, when you come back, it's a really hard comeback, physically and mentally. Physically, because your body is gonna forget how you move and it's very easy to get injured. And mentally, because you're gonna start training those guys that used to train very well, and now it's very hard. And that's gonna kind of like mess up your confidence, mess up your brain. So my whole thing is like, don't stop training jiu-jitsu, you know, like, if you can train twice a week, great. If you can train once a week, that's okay. Even if you can train twice a month, it's better than stopping. So don't stop. So just recapping here everything we're talking about, more is better. If you can train more than 2 times a week, it's better. The average schools, the average frequency of jiu-jitsu training on jiu-jitsu schools, it is twice a week. So don't feel bad. Don't feel you're alone. Most of the people are like you. And what you do outside of jiu-jitsu also matters. So if you do yoga classes, if you do mobility classes, if you lift weights, everything matters. And my experience is that that's kind of my routine nowadays. Like, I'm training jiu-jitsu 2 or 3 times per week, and I'm working out, and I'm running and doing things like that. And the last thing I would say is that, guys, nowadays there are so many opportunities to learn jiu-jitsu off the mat. Like, you can watch jiu-jitsu on YouTube, you can watch jiu-jitsu on BJJ Fanatics, you can read about jiu-jitsu, there's like thousands of articles, and I think everything helps, you know, like when you're reading about a technique, that helps you to memorize the technique. When you are watching a video, that helps. When you are watching a tournament, that helps as well, because your brain is remembering everything you learned. So for example, back when I started jiu-jitsu, there was not even YouTube, right? It was 2001, or maybe YouTube was in very early days. So there was no way for me to watch a jiu-jitsu tournament. And nowadays, for example, when I watch a jiu-jitsu tournament, I feel like at the end of the tournament, I feel my jiu-jitsu is a little better because I learned a bunch of moves that this new generation is using that I'm excited to go to the gym and try out. So if you're training jiu-jitsu only twice a week or once a week, but you're watching the jiu-jitsu tournaments, you're studying videos at home, it's not that bad, you know, like, and maybe you're working out outside of jiu-jitsu as well. So anyways, bottom line here, training jiu-jitsu twice a week, if you're doing jiu-jitsu just as a hobby, in my opinion, it is enough. More is better, but if that's all you can do, that's okay, that's enough. And I think the most important thing, guys, is to look long-term in the journey and see what you're trying to achieve, you know, like, oh, I'm trying to achieve the black belt, so that's the journey. And then when you get there, you're gonna have other goals, or maybe, oh, my goal is jiu-jitsu and longevity. So it's to try to train jiu-jitsu for as long as I can, up to 7 years old. So don't get too focused on what you're doing like right now and try to focus more on the long term. You know, like, what's your long-term goals with jiu-jitsu? My long-term goals with jiu-jitsu, for example, is to do jiu-jitsu until my body can handle. I hope I'm the type of guy that I'm 79 years old and I'm on the mat. I'm 83 years old and I'm on the mat doing drilling and training for other guys that's not gonna hurt me and things like that. So that's my long-term goal nowadays. At some point, my long-term goal was to win every single tournament. So training jiu-jitsu twice a week back then was not enough. But nowadays, it is enough 2 or 3 times per week. So guys, those are my thoughts. This is my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna keep making more videos like this for you. Guys, if you don't follow my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Os.